So I'm Jason Kushner. I am the program coordinator for Big Picture South Burlington, which is an innovative school within South Burlington High School where students create their own curriculum around their interests and internships. So our students are doing projects in the real world. We have a rapidly changing world, and education hasn't really changed much over the past 50 years. And so I've been thinking, how can we really educate students that best prepares them for this rapidly changing world? And so I think a lot of that comes down to innovation. So my focus for this year has been, how can we create mechanisms for innovation for South Burlington High School? One of the ideas is we have an amazing staff here, but how can we get them some new ideas and give them the space to really work on it? And so in New York City, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. So by going there, we can see a lot of really amazing, innovative practices in a small area. And also, by pulling a group of staff and students and community members and principals and board members together, those groups don't get to hang out together or talk together. So to bring that group together and give them the space to talk about the future of our schools is an amazing opportunity.
So going on the tour, I really just wanted to have definitely a student voice heard, but just have my voice heard in terms of what's going on in our school, because I hadn't found avenues to do that in the past. I've been working really hard for the past 3 years to find ways to get my voice heard in education, and nothing really clicked. I either could go somewhere and learn something and then couldn't apply it, or try to find an application but it wasn't necessarily relevant to me or something that I could do at a student level. And this really kind of brought all of that together, was with learning about the new standards and the different things we were learning about there, and then being able to really act on it. On the third day of the tour, we were asked to take some of the ideas that we had gotten from the different schools that we had visited, of kind of action steps and next steps that we would want to bring back to our school. So we broke up into groups based on our interest. So there's a curriculum group, and then the one I was drawn to was the student voice group, of course. And so I met with, I think it was 5 students and a community member that joined that group. And we just kind of started discussing different ideas, different project ideas that we all had.
What the experience did do for me is, when we went on this tour, it was a pretty hectic time for a lot of people here in the school, and I had about 7 different logistical things that I was working on very feverishly, and was starting to feel a little overwhelmed in that I was spinning my wheels in a lot of different directions. And what I came back with was actually a lot of clarity and a defining principle, or an organizing principle. And I really feel like developing our proficiencies is something that we really need to do as a school, and that once we start doing that, a lot of other things are going to fall in line right behind it as far as some of the other important work that we have been doing. Well, what we saw was a lot of performance-based assessment and tasks created around performance-based assessment, which to me is an authentic learning experience. So that created a lens to be able to look at those subjects and see just sort of how students were approaching that model, how teachers were using that model. New York City's got such an incredible opportunity to get students out into the world doing things because of this, how much is going on in such a close proximity. So just to see the opportunities that they were having, the experiences they were having, what teachers were asking students to do, and how students were approaching it was really healthy to see. Just a super high level of engagement, and just the maturity with which students were able to talk about those experiences, and even the fact that they had such a high level of involvement in creating those experiences for themselves kind of created the engagement level almost to begin with. So just having that high level of engagement and having those opportunities was really powerful to watch. And those are some of the most memorable parts of the tour for me, is just hearing what students had to say.